Hello, thank you for tuning into our Alumni Career Tips. My name's Roberta Watson, and I'm from Jefferson's Alumni Office. Today, we are joined by Ainsley Maloney, who serves as one of the Associate Directors in the Mary Ann Abel Career Services Center located on our East Falls campus. Ainsley specializes in industry relations, and in just 15 minutes, she'll share her tips and tricks for standing out in a search. So with that, Ainsley, go ahead and take it away.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about how to job search like a pro. What do you think is the #1 way to get hired? As it turns out, employee referrals, or knowing someone at the company, accounts for 30 to 50% of hires in the U.S. So in the same way that we turn to our friends and family when we're looking for babysitters or contractors, companies are increasingly turning to their employees and asking for referrals of someone that they know and trust. With that said, it's important to think of networking as not only about who you know, but about who knows you and who's going to think of you when a position at their company opens up. So there are 3 easy ways to expand who you know, and you should really think of networking as not a one-time thing, but a lifelong career habit. LinkedIn is the easiest way to stay connected to all the contacts in your industry. Have you ever reached back out to someone and then you get a bounce back from their email saying that they no longer work at that company? At that point, you may have completely lost that contact forever because you don't know where they went and you don't know their new email address. The beauty of LinkedIn is that you're connected with people for life. So if they move on to another company, you'll not only see that alert come through their LinkedIn profile, you can then reach out, send them a congratulations, and know that you have a contact at a brand new company. I highly suggest watching the networking video in this series by my colleague Patrick Ryan. He does an excellent job in really laying out the benefits of LinkedIn and addressing how to reach out to somebody for an informational interview, which is a really important step in making new contacts. I also can't stress enough the importance of joining your professional association. Every industry has one, and not only a national chapter, but look into your local chapter. Local chapters might hold meetings something like once a month. So if I told you that once a month, all of the top employers in your field and in your city all gather together in one place, that's your local chapter meeting. So you need to be there as well, whether it's virtual or in person. I know for our local chapter meeting and career services, at the end, they always open the floor for any directors to announce any open positions that they have in their department. So by the end of the day, you've heard about 15 different openings in your surrounding area. And you can even go up to the director and introduce yourself and express your interest in the role. Employers love recruiting at their professional associations because they know that you're serious about the field and that you're staying up to date with trends in the industry. I also want to take a moment to point out that you probably know more people than you think. I work a lot with career changers who don't have a network yet in their new industry, and they often feel a little deflated by this fact. So let's say, for example, that right now you're a teacher and you want to make a career change and get into public health. You might be thinking, I don't know anyone in public health. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is write down a list of 15 people that you know. Your next objective is to spread the word to all of these people that you're looking to go into this new industry, and do they know anyone in the field who might be willing to talk to you? So think broadly here. Reach out to aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, spouses and families, previous colleagues, neighbors. Now think about the fact that each of these 15 people has their own set of family, friends, neighbors, and colleagues. So the probability that your network's network knows somebody in your industry is now exponentially greater than if you just were working with the people that you know. So your end goal would be to identify that one person that you could reach out to conduct an informational interview, which is basically just reaching out to ask them how they got where they are, what they like or dislike about their job, and if they have any advice for you about entering the field. It is not to ask for a job, it's simply to make a connection with somebody in this industry and ask for advice and figure out how they got where they are. At the end of the call, you could ask them if they know anybody else in the field who might be willing to talk to you. And that's how this chain reaction starts building. You could reasonably set a goal to meet and talk to 4 new contacts this month. When you break it down, that's just one conversation each week, which is totally doable. In addition to networking, of course, you'll also be submitting your resume and searching for open positions on job search engines. There are some reputable job boards that we recommend. The first is Handshake, which is free for Center City and East Falls alumni. You can register for an account by going to jefferson.joinhandshake.com. When you get to the landing page, you'll see at the top right that there's a little link that says sign up here. Please just allow 24 to 48 hours for us to approve your registration. That way, when you're searching on Handshake, you'll know that every employer that is posting a position there is specifically looking for Jefferson graduates. Some other great job boards are ZipRecruiter, Indeed, and LinkedIn. The only problem is that sometimes there might be old postings or it's hard to tell how long a posting has been up. So that's why we recommend using those job boards as a starting place, but then also making sure to search for that job and company to make sure that the position is still posted on the company's website. That way you know that it's definitely still active. Every company has their own careers page, which you can find by Googling the company name, careers, or jobs. So if you're not 100% sure when the job was posted or does not have a posting date, you could always be sure to go to the company's career page and apply there. That way you know it's getting into the right hands. Another resource you want to tap into are industry-specific or professional association job boards. These are much more niche. So for example, AICPA for professional accountants has their own career hub. And employers might prefer to post here because they know that they'll only be getting qualified candidates that are serious about and passionate about their profession. Once you're on the job board, a common mistake that we see candidates make is that they'll take their job title and they'll plug it in over and over on all of the different job boards and get limited results. So for example, an industrial designer might plug in the words industrial design and product design and keep searching by only those words and then come to us frustrated that they're not getting the amount of results that they were hoping for. So one exercise we do is to ask the candidate to brainstorm 20 different keywords that they might use to uncover new jobs. For example, you'd want to think about industry buzzwords, specialized skills that you have, software applications that you use and are very skilled at, and even picture your ideal job. What words do you hope would appear in the job description? And then throw them into the mix. Now when you're on those job boards, you want to mix up the order and combinations that you use when searching so that you can uncover new jobs that you may not even know exist. So now that industrial designer is going to be mixing and matching words like soft goods, toy design, engineer, medical device. And as you can imagine, they're going to be getting much more robust results. The next thing I want you to do in your keyword search is to consider a few new industries that you may be interested in exploring. As a professional in the field, remember, you have specialized skills, and those skills can be applied to a variety of industries. So let's say that since you graduated college, you've been working the past 10 years at an advertising and branding agency. A lot of times we'll talk to alumni who feel at that point like they're rooted, they're stuck in that industry, and they feel maybe a little frustrated by that. If you work until you're 60, and most people work well beyond that, you still have 25 more years to gain experience in another industry. So don't pin yourself down at this point. Keep in mind that, for example, if you're a graphic designer, there are PR, marketing, and communications departments in every industry. So consider mixing in different keywords such as healthcare, hospitals, fashion, university, display design, or even museums to see what new and exciting jobs pop up. Every industry ebbs and flows. So if you think about yourself more as someone with specialized skills that can be transferable and applied to any different industry, you'll gain much more confidence in your ability to adapt if the industry that you're in currently ever experiences a downturn. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a reality check, which is that you will never meet 100% of the qualifications for a job. One study found that men apply for a job when they meet only 60% of the qualifications, but women apply only if they meet 100% of them. Now, if we waited for that criteria to be met, none of us would ever get a promotion. We'd never be able to apply to a job that had any responsibilities that we've never done before. So all of us in applying to new jobs have to take note that we're not going to be 100% qualified. So next, we're going to talk about when that qualification on the job description matters and when it's just the employer's ideal wish list. So there are some deal breakers. If you see on the job description a couple of these specific requirements, It means that you really will have to meet them in order to apply. So if they're looking for, let's say, 5 to 7 years of experience and you only have 1 or 2, you probably shouldn't apply that big of a jump up. But if you're right on the cusp, let's say you have 4 years of experience, you could apply to the 5 to 7 years. Similarly, if the employer is looking for specialized technical skills, such as software or a foreign language, you do have to have that in order to apply. And if the job description says that a master's degree or PhD is required, or you need a specific license in order to practice in that field, of course, you cannot apply unless you have those specific qualifications. Otherwise, if you meet just a majority of the qualifications, apply anyway and consider what transferable skills you have. I want you to look at the job description, and rather than thinking, oh, I don't have X, Y, Z, I want you to look at it with new eyes and think, okay, I do have at least 6 out of 10 of these qualifications. How can I make my case to show that I have the transferable skills that they're looking for? So some things that employers write on the job description that are really more of an ideal wish list are asking for experience in a particular industry or with a certain clientele. So if you have really strong experience in a different industry, that's absolutely a job that you want to apply to. An example of transferable skills would be, let's say the job requires public relations experience, and you don't have that, but you know that really the employer is looking for strong communication skills, and you've spent the past 5 years writing for a magazine. You're going to want to focus on the evidence and proof that you have the transferable skills to do this job and do it well. Once you're ready to apply to the position, the biggest advice I can give you is to follow all the application instructions exactly. One of the biggest questions that we get is, the job says to submit a cover letter, but do I actually have to submit one? The answer is yes. Employers get hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants to every position. This is just part of their screening process. They're asking for a cover letter so that they can narrow down the pool of candidates to only those that submitted it, because they're looking for thorough, detailed, and serious candidates. So if you don't submit one, you're automatically going to be out of the running. So the biggest piece of advice is to follow all the application instructions to a T. As you continue your job search, you're either going to discover new companies or start to identify which companies are becoming your top picks. I would suggest keeping a list of your top 10 companies and then really digging into researching those companies, knowing what their mission statement is, what philanthropy work that they do, or what their company culture is like. An increasing trend is that recruiters want to see that you not only want a job, but that you want a job with their company in particular, and that you're really passionate about working there. Our office went to a large tech company recently, and they informed us that they don't even really post jobs online that often. Instead, they have newsletters. And so remember back a couple of slides ago when I showed you how to get to a company's careers page? If they have a way to subscribe to the career newsletter, I would suggest doing that. So for this company, everyone who subscribes to their newsletter is called their talent community. And when they have a job opening, they send out a newsletter to just their talent community. They then close that job after 3 days. So only the people in the know who are ready to apply and hit that apply button right away are the ones that even get in that talent pool. Another strategy that you can take is to follow the recruiting handle on Instagram or Twitter. So normally it's the @ with the company name followed by the word jobs or careers. So as you can see on the right, Salesforce Jobs has their own page. This is run by the people who have the power to hire you. The more passionate you are about a particular company or brand, the more that will stand out to the recruiters or hiring managers looking to bring you on board. Speaking of hiring managers, there are various different hiring professionals you'll be interacting with throughout your job search, and they all have different roles and different objectives. When you apply to one company's job, usually the first round of the screening process is that it will be reviewed by a human resources manager or recruiter with that company. Really, they're assessing your fit for their company. So your passion for their firm is key. If in the cover letter you describe why you want to work for their company in particular, that's going to make you stand out to them. They have a general knowledge of all industries, but they don't work in your industry. So the hiring manager is likely going to be your boss. Their title might be design director, VP, manager, or sales executive. So they actually work in your industry. So when it comes time for the interview, when you're meeting with the hiring manager, you're probably going to talk shop, right? You're probably going to get way deep into conversations about your industry in a way that you probably won't have with the human resources manager or recruiter. Then there are recruiters who work at recruiting firms, and they're hiring for many companies. So one clue is that in the job description, it might say something like, our client is looking for a textile designer. And in that case, you're applying to a recruiting firm who's hiring for another company. Now, there are pros and cons to working with recruiters. The pros are that they might be trying to get you an interview with a variety of different companies. If they have 3 clients that are hiring textile designers, they might see if you want to do an interview with 3 different companies, which is great because they're essentially helping you to increase the chances of getting an interview. However, keep in mind that their loyalty is going to be to the companies that they're trying to place you in. So their goal is not going to be to find you your ideal job. You're not paying them. The company's paying them. So you might need to be a little bit more flexible with the type of company that you're willing to work for, because they might turn around and say, hey, I just got you an interview with X company, and you might need to kind of jump at that opportunity and take the interview. Keep in mind that you'll be representing them. So if during your conversations with this recruiter, you tell the recruiter, I'm willing to take a little bit of a pay cut if it means that I really like the job. And then let's say you interview with the company, you get all the way through to the end, and that company offers you a little bit of a pay cut. And then you say, nope, I don't want that anymore. That's going to make that recruiter look bad in front of their client, and that recruiter might then drop you as a candidate and may no longer put you on different interviews with other companies. So at this stage in your career, if you're working with a recruiting firm, make sure that you're searching with the word executive before it, so executive recruiting firm. These are recruiting firms that hire for higher level positions, so VPs, managers, executives. They're going to be working to place you again in those higher level roles, so they're also very selective in the candidates that they decide to take on. There are also a few industry-specific firms that hire only for very targeted niches. Blue Plate Mines is a great example. One of the recruiters there, Karen, we work with often, she hires for the creative executive level roles, and they really specialize in their niche. So they help you not only to get the position, but they even prep you before the interview. They prep you and make sure that you're going to represent them well and succeed during that interview. So there are a lot of benefits of working with recruiting firms. Just make sure that you're doing a little bit of research on the firm beforehand. Here's a short list of some that we already know are reputable, but they can really add to the success of your job search.
Thank you so much, Ainsley, and thank you to each of you for tuning into this Alumni Career Tips video. I hope you were able to pull some pointers from today's presentation to assist you in your next job search. If you're looking for additional career resources, I encourage you to first join our official alumni LinkedIn group, where we post helpful content along with events on a weekly basis. You can find us on LinkedIn at Thomas Jefferson University Alumni Networking Group. If you'd like to watch other pre-recorded videos, please visit our YouTube channel and subscribe. We have a library of different options ranging in topics for you to select from. You can find us on YouTube at Thomas Jefferson University Alumni. Finally, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see 3 websites, our alumni website and our 2 career centers located on the East Falls and the Center City campuses. Each website has its own tools, including online guides, videos, events, virtual platforms, and more. As alumni, you have access to these for life, so I highly encourage you to go check them out. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.